there, this is Billy Earl on DELMARVELOUS Music. We are thrilled today to have a local singer-songwriter, writer of narrative, writer of short stories. Paul LOWJEWSKI is here, and we're going to talk about music, we're going to talk about writing, but we're going to start off talking about surfing. Where have you been and what have you been doing there, young man?
Just came back from Kauai, where I spent 3 weeks there and surfed a number of the different breaks there. It was a wonderful place. And we did a lot of hiking also and saw some local slack guitar music also, which was nice to see. And we had a great time. Really enjoyed ourselves. Surfed Hanalei Bay and down at Poipu. My wife went out a little bit also. But besides that, we did a lot of snorkeling. And really wonderful.
Love snorkeling. Where did you learn to surf?
1968. I went to high school in Wheaton, Maryland. Actually, Perry High School, which is kind of Wheaton, Rockville.
Okay.
And a young woman came to our class from California. She had a surfboard for sale, so my friends and I each pitched in $10 a piece and bought the board. And within the next year, we all had jobs in Ocean City, and continued surfing.
But of course.
A lot. Yeah, so that's where I started. So I've been surfing for 50 years.
Wow.
That's been a big part of my life.
That's a lot harder than it looks.
Oh, yeah.
I have fought 50 years ago. I fell off of a surfboard in Ocean City. I'd come down with some friends from high school, and I pretty much took it on the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
We all get hurt sometimes, though. I tell you, my wife was surfing just a couple weeks ago here in Aztec Island, and she fell off her board and didn't realize it was way behind her. The board got kicked up and hit her in the face, so she had a black eye, swollen nose.
Y'all be careful out there.
That's right. That's right. Mostly it's pretty safe.
Okay.
But
you were out there for a couple of weeks and you were doing some writing.
Right. I write short stories. I write some songs. It's kind of new for me to do the songs, actually. The last few years I'm working on that. So I've been playing guitar off and on for quite a few years and harmonica. And yeah. I've been writing short stories and some poetry, too. And the way I kind of start my short stories, I've done it for many years. I just kind of come up with a word or two, and that's how I start the whole thing. I have no idea where it's going. I just kind of follow what's happening once I start putting the words to the paper.
Okay.
Or now typing it out. Like the last story I wrote, I read it at the writers group that I went to. I started off with an idea about bologna, how much I really enjoyed bologna as a kid, and that kind of morphed into a kind of a crazy story. And it got a lot of laughs out of it when I read it to people. So
with that subject matter, I can see why. Okay. So you were out in Hawaii for a couple of months or a couple of weeks?
3 weeks, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice trip.
Yeah.
Nice trip. What are you doing musically now that you're back here?
Well, last Friday night I played at a place called the Wine Bar, and it's now in Sisters, which is a boutique there in Berlin. But it used to be next door, and that became a coffee shop. But the Wine Bar moved into Sisters. They invited them in. So they have music there usually every weekend, usually Fridays and Saturdays, but also they have an open mic every other Thursday.
Okay.
So I had a gig there, and it turned out to be the last gig they're having that Mike and Deb, the people who originated the Wine Bar, are retiring from the scene. I walked in with my bass player on Friday night, and I looked at Mike, and he goes, "Paul, this is the last time we're going to do this." I went, "What?" I was kind of surprised, and he said, "Yeah, well, my wife and I decided to retire out of this. We bought some property in the Bahamas, and we're going to be there for 6 months, and then we're going to be in Europe for a little while. So we're going to be traveling quite a bit. So we're kind of giving up our little stake here. But the woman, Donna, who runs the boutique, is going to try to keep it going for a while."
Okay.
Basically. But,
now, when you say boutique, the wine bar?
Well, actually, it's a boutique called Sisters. But in the boutique itself, there's a bar. They actually moved the wine bar from the wine bar next door. Moved the whole bar and the whole shebang over to Sisters. So Sisters has a bar setting in the back.
Okay.
And they serve beer and wine, and used to serve just Maryland wines. Now it's a variety of wines and local beers like Burley Oak and Finn's. And they have a nice music room. And they generally have some good entertainers that come in there. And it's the open mics are well attended. I tell you, they always have. When they first started, there'd just be a few people showing up. I'd be one of them. But
but are they going to continue on?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. George and Pat Belinky run one of the open mics, and I've become pretty close with them, and we've done a few gigs.
Okay.
Actually, I organized a gig recently where this gentleman has a private party every year where he has the Burning Man party, where he builds like a 35-foot wooden man on the longest day of the year, June 21st. I've been to it before as a party, but this year they needed a new band, so I organized a lot of my friends together. So we had like a quintet out there playing.
The Burning Man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And it was a lot of fun. We played rock and roll and blues for a couple hours, and then they shot the fireworks, so the man went up, and it was a good time.
How cool.
Yeah.
How cool. Berlin is just a hot little town.
It sure is. Yeah, it is. We bought our house there 11 years ago, and it's changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
It has. In the last couple of years, I mean, you can't find a house that's abandoned that's not being remodeled.
Got it.
The properties are being bought up right and left.
Yeah.
And it's also a little more of a local music scene starting there, too. More places have live music. The Globe always has bands. Atlantic Hotel once in a while has music, too, I believe. And then, of course, Burley Oak. And I've gone there. I've played there a few times also with friends.
Burley Oak. As a matter of fact, they've got a concert coming up that unfortunately is sold out. Marcus King?
I'm going this year.
Yeah.
I got tickets.
Wow.
And I saw him last year. Yeah.
He's a monster.
He is a great guitar player.
Yes, and that voice.
Trio, too. Oh, yeah.
That voice. That's a gravelly road, soaked in alcohol, with cigarettes put out all over the place in it.
It was fun. Actually, one of my good friends, I'm originally from Washington, D.C. That's where I lived until recently.
As am I.
And some of my friends are coming down for that show, as I did last year.
Wow. Wish I'd known about it sooner.
I didn't realize it was going to sell out. I got tickets as soon as they were on sale, which is, I think, in April.
Oh, that far back?
Yeah, I believe so.
See, I just called last week, unfortunately. Yeah. Way behind the power curve.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so everything is really cooking there. You are playing all over the place now. Are you writing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you write a song? How do you do it?
Boy, that's a good question.
Or is it different each time?
Yeah, I think it's different each time. Actually, the last song I wrote, I just finished my breakfast, and I had an empty container of Quaker Oats in front of me. So I wrote a blues about that empty container of Quaker Oats. Maybe I'll play that for you later on.
I would love for you to. I happen to be a huge oat fan, although I must admit, without that, that maple syrup, it's just not the same.
Yeah, I can blame you there.
Yeah.
I've always got raisins that sweeten mine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But it tends to change. So.
Oh yes.
It's situational for you.
Right. The song before that I wrote, it's one of my favorite songs I've written, I'd say, and that was just kind of came out of nowhere, and it talked about people that really influenced me. But it's kind of more of it's kind of a mystery that unfolds.
Okay.
And through this, probably the eyes of a homeless man, I'd say. That's how the song goes.
Interesting.
And also of a braggart, which I play that role pretty well sometimes.
Okay.
And and I was influenced by, of course, a lot of songwriters that I love. But
who do you listen to?
Recently, I've been listening. Of course, always listen to Dylan and the Rolling Stones. They're two of my favorites. But also, quite often, I listen to new blues people that are coming out there, and some not so new. I love Muddy Waters, and I love. And I'm a harmonica player, so I really love Sonny Terry, harmonica playing, Paul Butterfield, Charlie Musselwhite, just Paul DeLay out of Portland, Oregon, is a great harmonica player. The guy Kim Wilson from the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Oh, yeah.
James Cotton. Matter of fact, one time I saw, in a small club in Georgetown, I saw Paul Butterfield and James Cotton, and they shared the same band, but their styles were so different. Paul Butterfield did the first set. He has a sweeter style. And the second set was James Cotton, which was much more power style. And it was so great to see them. They didn't play together, but they played off, one followed the other one. And I really liked the fact that you saw the contrast so directly.
Sweet and power.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What kind of harps do you play?
Lee Oscar harmonicas are my favorites. For many years I did Golden Melodies and, of course, Marine bands and that kind of thing, but I've kind of sworn to Lee Oscars.
Okay.
And I think sometimes when they wear out a little bit, you can actually get replacement reeds.
Yeah.
Which I've done. Yeah.
Ever played the Hammond Suzuki's out of Japan?
I have not.
They're interesting. They are interesting.
Oh.
They almost feel like you've got a 2x4 in your mouth. They're just kind of blocky and just slightly larger than a Hohner, which is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But they're nice. They're nice.
A funny story to think about. Actually, I do play chromatic a little bit also.
I've never played chromatic.
One of my favorite harmonica players was Toots Tillman out of Belgium. He also was a great guitar player. But I had a chance to talk to him one time. It was nice to saw him at the Blues Alley in Georgetown. And afterwards I went to his dressing room and he was very cordial. And my wife said, "Hey, my husband's a harmonica player," and we had a great time talking about harps. But a funny story I'm thinking back about Charlie Musselwhite.
Love Charlie.
I went to see him play at a club that was around for a while in Bethesda. And after the show was over with, he was standing there, and I went up to him and said, "Man, Charlie Musselwhite, I've loved you forever. Since the early 70s, I've been buying your records." And he goes, "Well, if you like him so much, why don't you buy a CD?" So I said, "I don't have any more cash." He goes, "You got a credit card, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay."
Buy them all. Right.
So it was kind of fun.
The state of music as we know it. Which club was this in Bethesda? Do you remember?
It wasn't the Twist and Shout, that's where I saw a lot of the great performers.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was near the Barnes and Noble, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny when I went to record the Nighthawks at the Globe, I got a chance to talk to them a little bit off camera. What we were talking about was the old days when WHFS,
right,
was the go-to station
totally
there, and so much of the formation of my taste in music came from that station.
Same.
And the concert series that they had around the area, who they were promoting, right, and all of that. And I don't know that kids today have that kind of guidance when it comes to music. In fact, I'm not sure exactly where they get it.
It's funny because that's what I was thinking in terms of with your local station, 90.7.
Yeah.
I thought, I wonder for a lot of young folks who listen to that are interested in this kind of more folky or bluesy kind of music. Or WESM, the jazz station also. Around here, there's a lot of good rock stations in Ocean City too. A couple of them that are pretty played nice variety of music. Yeah, but we had WHFS, but we also had WGTB out of Georgetown.
WGTB.
And WLMD out of Laurel, Maryland. That was another free-form station.
That one I didn't remember. But they were album rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time, in Washington, D.C., you had many, many jazz, blues, rock and roll clubs everywhere. Yeah. Rockabilly was big, too. Rockabilly was really big. So that was always fun. And the DJs were always like Weasel or Damien.
Damien and Weasel. Yeah.
They're part of the community.
And then there was kind of a pop station, WPGC.
Right. Yes.
Morningside, Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And WOL, which was the soul station, which was
WOL. I had Petey Green on it.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I used to have to listen to that late at night underneath the covers because my dad, who was from Arkansas, didn't feel that race music was something that young people needed to listen to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's when I was a kid. I got out of high school in 1968, so a lot of the music I listened to was soul music.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so big everywhere. And the way I saw the first shows I saw were Wilson Pickett and James Brown, The Temptations, and Sam and Dave, and those kind of bands.
No, we used to refer to it as either soul music or Motown.
Yeah.
Now, Motown would have actually, as a defining term, would have been too restrictive.
Right.
Because James was not. James Brown, probably one of the most explosive and incredible performers of all time.
Yeah.
Was not Motown. That Motown was a lot more. But it's interesting. As I've grown older and I've gathered more information about how those records were made, these were all jazz cats.
Yes.
That had been out gigging all night and came in. And I'm not going to say that they found the Motown thing boring, but I'll say that it lacked a little bit of the innovation that they found at night, so they would add things to what they were doing in this
sure
that really, made it. The bass players would, the drummers
Jameson's
would.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Jameson was a monster. So many of those riffs, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. That sounds so simple.
Yeah.
But 60 years later, we're sitting there humming them.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that, of course, the blues scene was really big, too. After I got into soul, I really saw B.B. King, I saw Muddy Waters, I saw Sonny Terry McGee, I saw all these great blues, but John Lee Hooker. But I've also heard that here in Ocean City, B.B. King played the Pier Ballroom, which was right on the boardwalk, 1967, 68. Muddy Waters played a little club on Telford Street Cafe.
Okay.
I mean, some of these greats were right here, right in Eastern Shore.
Yeah. When you go back through the history of music, and let's call ourselves amateur musicologists at this point. A very august title, yes, indeed. It is funny to come to grips with the beginning of some of what we now consider to be the very great acts. There's a section in Dallas called, it's actually, people pronounce it Deep Ellum, but it's not Deep Ellum, it is the southern pronunciation of the word elm, where they just stick in another syllable, Ellum.
I see.
Anyway, Ray Charles used to play down there, and because he was black, they would not give him a room in the local hotel. So he had to go sleep on one of the pool tables in the pool hall next to where he was playing.
Man.
Yeah, well, we'd like to think that we've come a long way. You know, we're not always sure about it.
Right. You know, just not quite the same thing, but a lot of the artists that came to D.C. back in the 70s and all that, like the original 930 Club and all that, like the Police, they slept in their car after the show. They didn't have any money.
Okay.
You know, U2 opened up for a friend of mine's band, the Slicky Boys, and you know, gigantic band now, U2.
The Slicky Boys?
Yeah.
You're not talking about Danny Gatton, are you?
No, the Slicky Boys, Mark Noon, a bunch of other guys. They were kind of a punk band, and not really punk, but sort of punk. Yeah, in DC.
Henry Rollins?
Henry Rollins was part of, not with them, but he was part of that movement.
Part of that scene, yeah. I got a hold of some Danny Gatton music the other day. It is on I'll get you a copy of this. It has never been pressed into CD. There are 11 songs on there. He's doing the backing for a young man that went to the same high school that I went to at High Point High School, named Johnny Seaton, who...
Great singer.
Yeah, great singer.
Yeah.
Great singer. Anyway, Danny does all the guitar work on it. In fact, one of the songs has never been released anywhere.
Oh, nice.
In fact, the only time it's ever been played is on DELMARVELOUS Music on YouTube. So tune in and tune out. Anyway, Danny Gatton was, for me, the first amazing guitarist that I ever saw close up live.
Yeah.
I was going to the University of Maryland in a fit of extremely poor judgment. Leon Zeiger, who used to own the Varsity Grill, gave my friend and I, John King, the management duties in what they used to call the back room, which was a den of iniquity if there ever was one.
Yes, I've been there.
Well, when Danny got up there and started playing, John and I did something that we never did. We closed the bar and went up to the second floor to the mezzanine and watched him, because I had never seen anybody play with that holding the pick and the three-finger thing that he was doing. I couldn't quite get a grasp on exactly what he was doing, but I was hearing a rockabilly style music that was being played at lightning speed with crystal clarity, and it was astounding.
It really was. I happened to see him many, many times. He used to do every Wednesday. He played at Club Soda on Connecticut Avenue in D.C. No cover charge, so I'd go down there quite a bit. But so I probably saw him 50 or 60 times at least. And it was funny. I would go sometimes to the Twist and Shout, which was that club I was talking about, Bethesda, and he'd be playing there, and you'd see, or most times they have bands would play there and people would be dancing.
Yeah.
The blues, like Sue Tedeschi played there, and all the other people, a lot of great blues people played there, and Zydeco and that kind of thing. But when Danny Gatton played there, you had 100 guys standing in front of the stage watching this guy's hands.
Yep.
It was all guys.
Yeah.
Most of the time, too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny. And just by chance, one of my good friends in D.C., his name's Dave Chappell, plays that style with a pick and the fingers and all that. And he often has Danny Gatton's rhythm section behind him now when he plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I actually got him booked a couple times at Snow Hill for the blues. They have a blues thing in the wintertime. And once at Berlin for the blues thing, too. And they had me sit in and play harmonica with him, which was a real treat.
That's cool.
It was really nice, yeah.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that was a real thrill.
Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what I suggest we do.
Okay.
Let's listen to a little Paul.
Perfect. Well, the first song I'm going to do is written about my hometown, Washington, D.C. It was written by Leadbelly, who came to Washington, D.C., I guess in the late 30s, maybe 40s. But he was brought up by a Smithsonian gentleman, and he wanted to record some songs, but he couldn't find a house. So he wrote this song called Bourgeois Blues. So me and my wife go all over town. All the folks say, don't want you, kind of people around. It's a bourgeois town. Well, it's a bourgeois town. I got them bourgeois blues, baby, chasing me all around. You can take some advice, you can listen to me. Don't try to buy no home in Washington, D.C., 'cause it's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got them bourgeois blues, baby, chasing me all around. Was it land of the brave, home of the free? Don't wanna be mistreated by no bourgeoisie in a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town, maybe now more than ever. I got them bourgeois blues, baby, chasing me. Got the bourgeois blues, chasing me. I got them bourgeois blues, baby, chase me all around. Okay, amazing. So this is a song I wrote. I kind of call it Berlin Toodly-Doo for no reason at all. It's instrumental. I just fooled around with open G tuning, kind of came up with this thing, so here we go. All right. Berlin
I
Toodly-Doo.
like that.
Thank you. Now try this also. Woke up this morning, looked around for my shoes. You know by that I got this walking blues. I said, woke up this morning, looked around for my shoes. I said, you know by that I got this mean old walking blues. Some people tell me worry blues ain't bad. I said the worst old feeling that I've ever had. Some people tell me worry blues ain't bad. Said it's the worst old feeling that this boy's ever had. I said ocean to the ocean, sea to the sea. Said, come back, baby, you're not gonna worry me. I said, ocean to the ocean, sea goes down to the sea. Come back, baby, you know you always worry me. Well, I woke up this morning and looked around for my shoes. All my friends told me I had this look walking blues. Said I woke up this morning and looked around for my shoes. Chuck Taylor's. I said, you know by that I had a mean old walking blues.
All right, Big Bend, Texas.
Oh yeah,
Been there?
Yeah, we were there last year. We had a blast. We went. Terry's from Wichita Falls originally, and so we had that family gathering there.
Sorry to hear it.
Yeah, I know. But we had a family gathering there, which we hadn't done for a long time. So I always wanted to go to Big Bend, even though it was 9 hours of our way. We drove there. Oh, it was fabulous. I actually sat in with a local cowboy musician. I played harmonica with him.
Oh, okay.
It was fun. But we had a great time hiking and hanging out. The whole area is really nice. Fort Davis, all the part of Texas, and it's pretty progressive politically, by the way. You know?
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That actually, I find that quite surprising.
Yeah.
I think of Austin being progressive and Dallas being progressive, and the rest of it just being a teenage wasteland.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because we were asking people about the wall, and they were saying, we don't want any wall here, you know?
We don't need no damn wall.
Yeah. This is a song I wrote called Please Give Me Your Ear. Let's see. Sorry I have to look down at you.
Jeffrey Dahmer write this?
Yeah. Shared a beer with Kerouac. Cassidy called me his traveling mate. While even Richard Nixon called me about his troubles with Watergate. You might think I'm lying, but I'm telling you the truth. One night I even saw the ghost of old John Wilkes Booth. You know, I slugged old Cassius Clay before he'd called himself Ali. Hell, even old Big George Foreman, that old boxer, he don't scare me. Nikita Khrushchev was a friend. Paul Newman cried in my beer. Bridget Bardot always said she would stay near. But you can see I'm struggling now to make ends meet. Been around the world a few times. I'm not afraid to eat meat. You can see I'm hungry, and I'm thirsty too. Just buy me a drink or a sandwich, or this conversation is through. You know, I know a lot of people, and they know me. John Waters from Baltimore even claims he likes me. B.B. King and Muddy Waters, they were good friends. I used to hang out with the dead and drink beer with old Pigpen. So, fella, why don't you buy me a beer? Or a glass of whiskey? Or two? I'd like a corned beef sandwich. But a bowl of soup would do. I swear I'll pay you back. Soon as I call all my friends. So hold on, let the fun begin. You can see I'm struggling now to make ends meet. I've been around the world a few times. I'm not afraid to eat meat. You can see I'm hungry, and I'm thirsty too. Just buy me a drink or a sandwich, or this conversation is through. Just buy me a drink or a sandwich, or this conversation is through.
Yeah!
Oh,
clever.
Thank you.
Clever song.
Thanks. Thank you.
I like clever.
Yeah, me too.
Clever are good.
Uh-huh. I'll try this last one here. I'll try one more anyway. This is my other song I wrote called Empty Oatmeal Box Blues.
Okay.
Again, I wrote this song after eating oatmeal and had an empty oatmeal box there. There we go. Empty oatmeal box is all I face. 1 minute variety, like my usual pace. Quick and easy does it. What else can I say? Quick and easy does it. It matches my peculiar. But I think I'm gonna skip this one. I don't quite have this one down anymore. I haven't played it so long. You don't mind. How about you can edit it out?
Oh, good.
Okay. Let's see. I lost the tempo in that right off the bat. Okay. Well, just have a little variety. I'm going to do a Horace Silver song.
Who?
It's Horace Silver. He's a jazz pianist out of Cape Verde Island.
I don't know.
He did a song called "A Song from My Father." When I can play it a little bit on harmonica, the melody to it, and it's just a pretty song. And in this. my B flat harmonica for this one.
like that.
Thank you.
What is it called again?
It's called Song for My Father. He was kind of a hard bop player, piano player.
Okay.
He did a lot of songs. Senior Blues is another great song he did. That's really one of the standards. And one of my buddies who plays a lot of jazz taught me that, the chords of that. So I've always kind of improvised the harmonica with that a little bit.
Right.
So I have another song up to just thought about too. A, right. B flat, A, C. Here we go. It's a Lowell Fulson song. So long, I hate to see you go. So long, I hate to see you go. And the way that I miss you, I guess you'll never really know. We've been together so long, have to separate. Well, this way. We've been together so long, have to separate this way. So come back, honey. Come back to me and stay. said you once had loved me, but I guess you changed your mind. You said you once had loved me, but I guess you changed your mind. Why don't you reconsider, baby, give our love? Why don't you reconsider, baby, give our love? Why don't you reconsider, baby, give our love just a little more time?
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Well done.
Thanks a lot. It was fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. What words of wisdom do you have?
Oh, wow. Words of wisdom.
Play music and play it often?
Let's see. Have as much fun and as kindly as possible.
Well said. Okay. This has been Delmarvelous Music here on Downtown Pack 14 and YouTube. Tune in often. And like Louis Goldstein used to say, God bless y'all real good.
All right.